Tennessee wide receivers coach Kelsey Pope named a rising star by On3. Here's the quote. I think Kelsey's an expert wide receiver coach. That, according to a coaching source telling On3, quote, to me, he's a master teacher of the receiver position. He played the position at a really high level, and he understands the game. Wow, that's strong, because it's easy to say Jalen Hyatt had a fantastic year because of Josh Heupel, because Hendon Hooker played through the roof, because any number of reasons this offense took defenses aback. But to put a lot of that on Kelsey Pope, which is somewhat what On3 and this coach is doing, that's pretty darn strong. That being said, this could be somebody pumping up one of Tennessee's coaches in hopes that he gets hired away because they're afraid of this staff. But do we give Kelsey Pope enough credit for what Jalen Hyatt did, for Ramel Keaton's development, for the guys that he's worked with? Probably not.
We don't. And I'm very high on Kelsey Pope. Remember this. He was an all-field staff member in 2021 when Cody Burns was at Tennessee as a receivers coach. Kelsey Pope's sole task during that time off the field was working with the wideouts, no slot receivers. He turned Cedric Tillman into a 1,000-yard receiver. And Dave, you and I thought going into the draft that Cedric Tillman was a better NFL draft prospect than Jalen Hyatt because of his technique. That was Kelsey Pope. Do I need to remind people? Cedric Tillman was a 2-star receiver out of Nevada. Nobody believed in him, and he was buried in the depth chart until Kelsey Pope got there and worked with him. Then he becomes the receivers coach and turns Hyatt into a Biletnikoff winner. Yes, that's the system. I think that's more Heupel's system than anything. But I do think Pope had something to do with Hyatt reaching that next level. I think, but what he did with Cedric Tillman to me is still the biggest standout success, because he turned Cedric Tillman into a 1,000-yard receiver and an NFL receiver. And as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, there's a lot of hype behind Cedric Tillman in Cleveland right now. I think Randy Moss said he thinks Tillman's the best prospect right now and from the draft at receiver.
Can I play devil's advocate for a second?
Sure.
If he's that great of a receiver, why is he making $250,000 this year? And obviously, Alec Ablin is the lowest paid coach on Tennessee staff, making $243,000 because he just got upped into that tight end position. But as far as guys that have been on the staff, the latest raise got Kelsey Pope from $225,000 to $250,000. Jerry Mack went from $425,000 to $500,000. So you go from Pope to Mack on the pay scale board, and the guy right above him is making double. That's a significant difference. So if Josh Heupel is as high on Kelsey Pope and he's not a product of Tennessee system, why isn't Josh Heupel paying Kelsey Pope more?
Because Kelsey Pope was just promoted 2 years ago. Everybody else on the staff outside of Alec Ablin, who you named, was an on-field staff member Josh Heupel's first year at Tennessee. Kelsey Pope wasn't. He was an offensive analyst, and then he became a receivers coach. And Kelsey Pope, let's not forget, I think he's only like 31. He was 29 when he was promoted. And so he probably, and Dave, you know this, don't they usually sign just like 2-year contracts?
Yes, you usually get, sometimes a coordinator will get 3.
Okay, so he's probably just on the second year of a 2-year deal. I bet he does get a pay increase fairly soon after this first contract is up. But that was his first on-field role. You're going to get him at a discount at that when you get your first on-field assistant coach job.
No, I don't think we give him enough credit, but I do think it's somewhere in the middle. I think it's partly Josh Heupel's offense, of course, which leads us to 4 Downs, and it's brought to you by Andy Mason, AndyMasonRealEstate.com. Best service, best prices in the biz. He's in East Tennessee, AndyMasonRealEstate.com. In Knoxville, there's nobody else to call, nowhere else to go to, AndyMasonRealEstate.com.
4 Downs. 4 questions. 4 answers. The Dave Hooker Show.
4
Downs. A presentation of OffTheHookSports.com.
All right, here we go. Let's take a look at Tennessee's coaching staff after Kelsey Pope gets some love. And it'll be interesting to see 10 years from now if he turns out to be a great coordinator being under Josh Heupel, or he's just a really good assistant coach that develops wide receivers. There's no shame in being the latter. I mean, that's still a great way to make a good living, and it's still a lot more fun, I would think, than a lot of other jobs out there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be that type of guy that I think I don't want to go back too far and throw people. How about a Rodney Garner? If he's a Rodney Garner at the end of the day, I don't think that's a bad thing, but he may be more than that. He may be a head coach that has success. I don't think any of us know right now, Caleb, and I think you would agree with that. So Cooper Mays will call out the snap. First, Cooper, what should people do?
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
Thank you.
Coop here. First down.
Best coach on Tennessee staff not named Josh Heupel, and I'm putting rules on this, and I'm going to go a little bit slow for my guys on the message board because I want to hear your thoughts as well. So best coach on Tennessee staff, you can only name a coach one time, okay? So you can't get repeated mentions out of the 4 down. So I'm making it tough on you. I feel like I'm trying to describe the shopping game on The Price is Right. Plinko's simple, but you start to describe some of those other games and people get confused. All right, so you can only pick a coach once, and you can't pick Josh Heupel. So first down is best coach on Tennessee staff. Just best.
It's Rodney Garner. It's Rodney Garner. He's the best at his job of any coach on the staff at their jobs. And he should be, though. He's been coaching defensive line for 25 years now, 30 years. So it's Rodney Garner.
I think it's Tim Banks. I think with what he has to deal with this offense going up and down the field, I love what he does schematically up front. I know that Tennessee's defense hasn't been great, but it's never going to be great with this offense. I think you're going to see Tennessee be even better in creating turnovers and being able to create havoc in the backfield. I'll go Tim Banks. So let's go to second down.
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
The MVP coach on Tennessee staff. Now, this is where I've painted myself into a corner because I can't go Banks again, and you have some flexibility. And I did that by design. The MVP coach, the guy that if he said, I have come to this conclusion in my life where on August 24th, 25th, I'm going to retire and I'm going to join the Peace Corps and I'm going to build communities in Romania. And he leaves today. Who's the MVP? Who do they miss the most?
It's Glenn Ellerbe. I mean, the work Glenn Ellerbe does with the offensive line is so underrated. And given how much Josh Heupel relies on the run game, Glenn Ellerbe is Tennessee's best O-line coach since Mike Berry in 1998.
Yep. You took my guy. You're so smart. You took my guy. That's my way of complimenting myself. It is Glenn Ellerbe. And especially now because he knows these guys. And if he up and joined the Peace Corps to go to Romania and build communities, this would be bad for Tennessee's offensive line because they need coaching right now and they need to kind of hit that next level as far as development, which is disconcerting that they haven't hit at this point. What down is it, Coop?
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
Highest upside of any of the coaches. I'm going first.
Okay.
Kelsey Pope.
We're in a actually no. You know what? It's Alec Gablin. Alec Gablin, who was just promoted to tight ends coach.
You think Alec Gablin has?
I think Alec Gablin. I think Kelsey Pope is a great on-field ball guy, ball coach. You know, developing receivers. I think Alec Gablin is more of a. I think he brings a schematic edge to the offense. I think Alec Gablin is better positioned to become an offensive coordinator one day.
Okay, so you like Alec Ablin more than Joey Halsley?
Yes. 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 I think Joey Halsley is just that's just Josh Heupel just needs an official title guy, but it's his offense. Look, there's a red flag to me to this day, and you guys can call me crazy, but it stood out to me that Joey Halsley did not get an on-field role after when he was with Heupel for like 10 years, and he was an off-field coach for 10 years under Heupel in different capacities. Never got an on-field staff role until his last year at UCF, I believe. That's kind of a red flag.
Yeah. Okay. You're kind of being hard on Joey Halsley, but I'll be honest.
I love the singer Halsey, though. I mean, she's great, but
I don't know who that is. What down is it, Coop?
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. 4th down.
Most likely to not be on the staff in 2023. I'm going first, Willie Martinez.
We agree again. We agree. I'm so glad I disagreed with you on Kelsey Pope because it's obviously Willie Martinez. I don't think Willie Martinez wants to be on the staff after 2023.
Yeah, and also his contract is up after this year. He's the only Tennessee coach where his contract is up. And Rocky Top Tom added one too, so I'm going to throw this in there. Here's a good one for Caleb and Dave. Who's the best assistant coach UT has ever had? I have a feeling I know the answer. Well, his name, last name rhymes with Rutcliffe, and his first name is the same as mine. It's David Cutcliffe, right? My name's actually Davis, but yeah, it's David Cutcliffe, isn't it?
Yes, for the modern era, it is David Cutcliffe. However, I mean, I just have to go here. Tennessee had a line coach in the 1930s who became head coach while Nealon went to serve in World War II, and his name was John Barnhill. And look at the All-Americans John Barnhill produced in the 30s. He produced a 3-time All-American in Bob Suffrage coaching the line. I'm just going to point him out.
When you go history, he's got me beat.